Trevillion Next is a division of Trevillion, a financial services specialist search and talent advisory firm. Since inception, the Trevillion team has dedicated itself to enhancing the return on investment of a company's most important resource, its people.
Welcome. Another great episode of Trevillion Next. Very excited for this next guest, Matthew Smith. He's the Director of Innovative Initiatives, right? Did I get that right, Matthew?
It's quite a mouthful there.
Yeah, Director of Innovation Initiatives for the Independent Bankers Association of Texas.
It's a real long title to say I get to innovate what I get to do every day. What a great title, right?
That's a great title, man. When you put innovation in any title, it puts a lot of pressure on you because then
it means somebody knows what I'm doing. It's even
better.
No,
they leave you alone, right? Yeah, I'm innovating. The door is shut. You know, there's a sign on the door. I'm innovating. But
I innovate.
Yeah, very. Matthew and I were just talking before this call. I've known Matthew for a couple years. He was actually in a Trevillion search for a COO position. This must have been, it was pre-pandemic, I think, right?
I remember getting on a plane. Keith, this is so crazy. I get on a plane to go for this interview, and I get on, and my bride is a nurse, and she says, "Hey, have you heard about this thing called COVID?" I was like, "Oh, it's never going to go anywhere. It's like the swine flu, right?" Yeah. And then literally I get back to my hometown, and then 2 months later they're shutting everything down.
So it was, that's what I thought. It was right before. I always look at pre-COVID, post-COVID now. And I remember you flying for that interview, and there was something out in China, and people were talking about it a little bit, but I was the same way. I'm like, this is not going to do anything. And then the whole world changes. But out of that comes, things we cross paths again. Things happen for a reason. And now I feel like you're in the perfect position for what you wanted when we talked a couple years ago. You're working in Texas, of course. You're working with a lot of community banks. You're in the trenches for innovation. And that's what really kind of thrills you. I know you worked for Happy State for a long time. Great bank. We know a lot of people over there. They sold recently. But you did a lot of great stuff for them on the innovation.
I'm truly working my dream job. This is no lie. I get to support community banks, not just one bank, all kinds of community banks, help them out with the roadmap. What do they want to do? What does it look like? I'm telling you, in 12 years at Happy State Bank was incredible. Talk about learning all kinds of stuff that helped me to where I'm at today. It's great.
Yeah, no, it's a great bank, great culture. And now you're kind of right in the thick of things with innovation for Texas banks. And as we were talking before, Texas, very hot state, a lot of people coming there, a lot of businesses. How many banks are in Texas?
We have we at IBAT, we support over 300 charters. And when I say that, they have to be chartered in the state of Texas to be a part of IBAT. Now we have other members, we have sustaining members that their church can be out, but we have over 300 state charters that we support at IBAT. And it's incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah. No, that's great, man. I know you're associated with the FedFist guys, Tanner and Dave. We had them on a few months ago, actually, years ago. We were talking about COVID. But yeah, they're fantastic. We helped launch that BaaS association with them, and it's just really taking off. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of, throw it over to you, because it's always great to get somebody who's a part of one of these independent banking organizations from a state, because they're talking with all the banks, all the members.
That's exactly
kind of what's happening, what are they worried about? What are some of the challenges? What are the innovations that they're focused on now and kind of going into next year? Because we're almost in October now. A lot of banks are probably budgeting for 2023. So what are you hearing, or what are you talking about with these members?
So let's stop for a second. So I support, my main baby is a tool called Bankers Helping Bankers. Yeah. And we actually have 27 of the 30 state associations that signed up that's providing it to their community banks. So not only do I support banks in Texas, but I also get to go out to other state associations and talk to their community banks.
Oh, wow. So you're getting all the intel.
It's incredible. It's absolutely, and that's powered through FedFist with all their data. And what's starting out is, we're giving banks access to understand what their tech stack is, to understand what truly integrates with their core and giving them the short list, something they've never had access to before, ever.
Yeah.
And now they get it for free through BHB, which is incredible. And so what I'm doing is I'm talking to obviously a lot of banks in Texas. That's an understatement, right? Mm-hmm. But I get to talk to other banks. Like I'm talking to the banks in Kansas, talk to banks in California, South Dakota, all over. And really what we're doing now is we're just pausing and saying, let's educate everybody. And we broke it down into 4 types of fintech. We're talking FI fintech. So think of internet banking, mobile banking, BaaS bank, which you guys are a big part of BaaS bank, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then direct digital bank. And we're giving banks a path to succeed in whatever path they want to go choose and what that looks like. So, we're seeing BaaS banks are starting to grow like crazy. We're over 100. I was talking to Bobby Button at FedFiz, and he's telling me there's over 200 direct digital banks now. So think about your affinity banks. And then you have banks that are just saying, hey, I need to be more effective at blocking and tackling. They're dying. Our charters are going away. We're down to over 4,400, and they're saying, I need to be more efficient. I need to find more ways to create revenue from our shareholders. What does this look like? And maybe it's just simple stuff like robotic process automation or online account opening, right? So banks are in a position that they've never been in before, in my opinion, because of fintech. And you're starting to see these partnerships come out, and banks are starting to get more familiar with it. But it's because of what we're doing, and we're providing that education to them. And going, okay, don't be scared of this word. Let me break it down to you. Let me define it to you, and let me, with the power of FedFiz, you'll hear Dave and Tanner say this a lot. We help them identify who the good guys are, because there's a lot of bad actors out there. We point them to the good guys.
Oh yeah, and it's I think it's crucial because we work with one of our best clients is Coastal Community Bank. So Eric Sprank, of course, he's part of the BaaS Association. I think he's on the board. But tapping the knowledge of experts in the BaaS industry that have been doing it for 4 or 5 years, because I was just in Vegas last week or 2 weeks ago, my first speaking gig actually at a conference, and talking about talent for risk and compliance, specifically in BaaS bank and fintech, crypto type relationships. And it's becoming crucial that you have top talent in the risk and compliance world for any bank, but especially for these tech forward BaaS banks, because as you've seen in the news over the last 3 or 4 weeks, the regulators are sniffing around, and they're throwing some consent orders down. They have a better understanding of BaaS and fintech partnerships now. So to have that risk and compliance audit function really dialed in is so crucial for any innovative bank.
Any bank, period. And
any bank, period. Yeah, but especially for these innovative partnerships.
Totally agree.
Need to have that offensive line, I call them, going back to
hit the nail on the head, right? You have to have those people that can block and tackle to make sure your quarterback doesn't get creamed, right? Let's go back to that football analogy. It's, and that's really what we're trying to build out with this BHB and our bankers on bankers. BHB is this community for community banks to go out there and truly support each other, because I'm starting to hear this more and more and more. It's like community banks are saying, hey, look, especially at this executive level, we're dying out here, and I don't want to lose any more charters. So how do we join together to help each other out to ensure that we all walk away succeeding? And whether it is, like you said, it is that BaaS bank, those very innovative banks, down to the ones that just are trying to figure out how to block and tackle and just day-to-day banking activities. We have to come together, and we have to say, look, let's support each other, and let's do what's right, and let's make sure we do this the correct way. Because if you hit the nail on the head, if we don't have that compliance and we don't have that stuff there, it's going to be bad.
And no, it's great. We love our community banks here at Trillion, and it's great to see the coming together, the collaboration, because if you're going to take on the giants, the JP Morgans, the Bank of Americas, you're going to need some collaboration and, working on different technologies and maybe taking risks in different areas. You're not going to be able to go out and just, buy a fintech like a JP Morgan can. You really have to partner with the right partners, and who are the right partners. So really being a part of a BaaS association, bankers helping bankers, I mean, you're right in the middle of helping to create these relationships and partnerships, because a lot of these banks just want that kind of first step, right?
That's
Knowledge.
Exactly right.
What do I do? I mean, I'm paralyzed, almost paralyzed by fear or paralysis by analysis. It's just, which direction do I go? There's like so much out there, so much noise. If you go to a conference, Money 2020, it's just vendors and noise. Like, how do I find what's right for me and the right partner? So I assume that's kind of what's happening in your world from your point of view, just kind of guiding and listening and helping, correct?
Well, it goes back to what I said, first step is just education.
Yeah.
So as community bankers, we want to know a lot of information before we go make decisions, usually. Not everybody, some can make it a little bit, but so our goal is to provide the education, and then we help them out with that partnerships, because we don't want to walk in the room because we're dang good at banking. We understand banking, we understand how to do that, but we don't understand this fintech world. So we're a little hesitant. Once you get the education, you feel empowered to now we connect you to these right people to understand who are those good guys. Therefore, they're not going to seek your bank. Now, on the flip side, as a banker, we obviously have to get dang good at compliance and all those procedures,
Yeah. No, that's where, FedFist, information data is power.
You got it.
And, the more data you have to make a decision for your bank, because this is a huge decision. This is kind of these changes over the past few years are just, and it's not stopping. If you want to survive, like you said, you're going to have to get outside of your comfort zone a little bit and maybe partner or find new ways to retain your customers, bring in new revenue, increase the value for the shareholders. So kind of, what are you thinking as we head into 2023? What are some of like the main questions, challenges that you're hearing from the trenches?
The one I don't know how to solve yet, Keith, and I talk about a good one for you. I mean, where you're working, I'm going to toss up you up a softball is finding help. I mean, consistently everywhere I go to, that's the number one thing. They're telling me, you know what, I'm struggling. I can't find talent, especially these rural banks. They're saying nobody wants to work here. And so what does that look like, and where does that come from? That's a challenge I don't know that I know the answer to. I think we've got some ideas, we've got some solutions. I bet you would know, right?
Yeah, that's why you call us, right? Can't give away the secret sauce, but no, there's working with Coastal and Lincoln Savings Bank and Bank Prov, some of the best in the business, some pioneers in BaaS. We really understand kind of. And thank you for the softball, by the way, the tee up here. We understand where the talent is, what they're looking for, how to sell your bank, and where talent, what they're interested in. This top talent, not to go into a whole other, we could talk about talent for hours.
I feel like you would know a lot about that topic.
Yeah, it's, you really have to be committed to innovation and, taking your bank to the next level, because this top talent wants to be part of something that really just interests them, that gets them up in the morning, gets them. So your board, your leadership, they have to be all in, or the top talent's going to look elsewhere, because they have a lot of options right now.
Yeah,
digital banks, fintech.
Let's go down this path, kid.
Big tech.
I bet you're going to really appreciate this comment. If we truly, as community banks, come in, we start understanding direct digital bank, BaaS bank, this fun, sexy technology, I'm going to venture to say that banking can be sexy again. Remember back in the day, people wanted to go work for a bank, they were fired up, and now it's like, I don't know even what a bank really does.
Yeah.
You're now going to go out and start attracting a new layer of talent, and you're going to start getting these generations in that we've not heard of, the young talent that wants to be the fun stuff. They want to do the innovative stuff. So not only is this going to help you out with your efficiency ratios, possibly, it's definitely a way to, diversify your income stream. But now talk about attracting new talent in that next layer that wants to be there, right?
And how we sell it, and what's great is working for a community bank, a very innovative community bank, is you can be super entrepreneurial. I mean, you're not part of even a larger regional bank where there's 15 different layers. Things are happening quick, and you're partnering with some of the most innovative firms out there, whether it's a Chime or Walmart, whoever it is. You're right in the middle of things, And actually right now, after all this kind of commotion of the last 6 months, there's more security, on the bank side, being part of a BaaS bank. You have that balance sheet and you're not, waiting for your next round of funding, which has dried up a little as rates, and it's going to dry up even more, I would think, as rates continue to go up. So you could be, it's almost like the best of both worlds. You have the power of the balance sheet, you have the community banking, and the talent wants that mission too. We're helping the community. We're giving back to the community where, but we're diversifying our income. But at our core heart is the community bank, helping small businesses, local businesses. But you're also getting to fly to Silicon Valley and meet with new startups. So it's
think about this as well. This is something I'm going to be very passionate about. Is think about these small towns. You talked about me working at Happy State Bank, and that's out of the Texas Panhandle. These small towns, the only thing that's left, really, in some of them, is you've got a school, you've got a post office, and you got a community bank.
And a
if
church.
That community bank in a liquor store, right?
A church and a liquor store. Yeah.
But if that community bank goes away, it all goes away, right? The community bank is the backbone of every one of those towns. And you go through a town without a community bank, you dang sure know it, because there's no small businesses there. So community banks, this is a chance for us to come in and start figuring these things out and start helping out, so we can stay a part of that community and we can give back and empower our friends, our neighbors, people we see at church, school, the liquor store, right? It's all there.
No, it's a fantastic, I think people want to bank with, and going back to, COVID, being a small business and having a good relationship with your banker, your local banker, Bob from down the street, that you can pick up the phone and call his cell phone or meet him for coffee when something goes wrong, is crucial. But at the same time, you also have to provide the technology, the ease of use, because as there's a whole new generation of small business owners coming up who were completely on the internet and working, with apps, and probably never went into a branch.
Well, think about this too. Think about your farmers and your ranchers. I mean, go out and look at some of its equipment. It's all electronics, all computerized now. It's not what it was 70, 80 years ago. So a lot of times we think about it, you're hitting the nail on the head with the small businesses, no generations, but your farmers are getting it, your ranchers are getting it. It's the whole community. And we have to go in and figure out a way to be able to connect to everybody, no matter where they're at, right?
And it's not, it's not replacing the community bank experience. It's just enhancing
Not at all.
It's enhancing it. It's giving more options to customers. Which is the key. You and I, we're around the same age. We came up Amazon generation, kind of at your fingertips. But we also understand pre-internet and where you had to go into a bank. And I still remember going into a bank with my mom every Friday. She would take out money and I'm waiting online. They give me a lollipop, that type of thing. People still are dying for that kind of community, but you also need to provide kind of these tech advantages too. So it's not replacing that community bank at all. It's just enhancing it for the customer and it's all about the customer. You just have to look at it from the point of view of the customer. That's what all the great companies do. The Amazons, the Apples. What does the customer want? And then from there, you kind of, go in different directions. But we could go on forever about this, man.
We could. We're both passionate.
Yeah, I do. It's great seeing you. It's great talking to you. I wanted to plug also the FedFist conference roundup in November, which is free for banks, right?
Free for community bankers. How awesome is that?
Oh, that's fantastic. And where can they? I know fedfist.com, bankers helping bankers. They can contact you directly. Anything else? Any other places they can go to learn more about, all these innovative experiences you're involved in?
If they're not signed up for community bank, or sorry, for bankers helping bankers, it's free. Get out there. That's where a lot of that stuff's at. You hit the nail on the head. The roundup is going to be an incredible event. We're sold out, Fredericksburg, Texas. But if you're a community banker, we're going to find a way. We're going to get you in a cowboy hat. It's going to be incredible.
Cowboy hat is ready, baby. Usually we're at the country concerts. I'm ready to get down there. Yeah, we're sponsoring a breakfast on Friday, BaaS Day. So BaaS breakfast sponsored by Trevilian. But it'll be great to see a lot of these people, even, Eric's, I don't know if Eric Spring's going to be there, but, I haven't met a lot of the people in person. with COVID and everything, especially people far away, we're just starting to get back to conferences, which is fantastic. But this conference, this FedFist conference, man, it's great because it's focused on community banks. It's free for banks, focused on BaaS. It's really honed in to that community banking kind of BaaS industry, which is great. And I heard they don't want it to be like a conference. They want it to feel like you're at a wedding or like a country concert or something. So that'll be fun.
It's gonna be great. And any bank that wants to learn more, this is a place to do it and lower down those defenses, because it's exactly what you said. It's gonna be that, that feel, the community. You're gonna be out there. You're not at a conference. I can't wait. There'll be a lot of good bankers.
And who's you said the Bellamy
brothers? The Bellamy brothers. Yeah.
Yeah. I told you I'm kind of new country last.
So you have homework. You have homework.
Yeah.
You got to go check out the Bellamy brothers. And have you heard the song Lukenbach, Texas?
Lukenbach, Texas. Okay.
Go check out the song. That's your homework assignment. So when you're sitting in Lukenbach, Texas, you've at least heard Waylon Jennings and Merle Haggard sing Lukenbach, Texas.
Yeah, now you're getting into the deep country, man. You're talking to a city slicker up here outside Philadelphia.
For those that don't know, that FedFist has taken over Lukenbach at the event. So one night we've taken over the whole town. So get ready.
I'm gonna have to go back listen to some Hank Williams, some old school country. Hank Williams Jr.
Man. You've got your hat. Now you got homework.
I got a long flight to Texas from Philadelphia. So I can definitely throw on some Bellamy brothers, some Waylon Jennings. That'll be fun. But Matt, always great to talk, man.
Good talking to you as well.
Like I said before, it's funny that our paths cross again, but it's great. I can tell you landed at the right place at the right time. So it's a perfect fit for your experience, your personality, what you want to do. So very happy for you. And I'll see you down in Texas.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it. Yeehaw.